We're going to address an excessive forward lean in this video. That's the compensation from our overhead squat. So here's what it looks like. Now you're going to you should probably notice it from your side angle. Arms overhead, you go through your squat, and you just notice that you are just dropping forward a ton. Like as soon as you start to get any depth, you just start hinging forward. Now there's a few reasons why. It could be more because of your ankle mobility and the flexibility through your lower leg, or it could be because of your hips and the flexibility through your hip flexor. So what I want you to do is address both. And a really, really good way to tell which one it is this exercise right here. So you grab anything to heighten your heels, and this is gonna tell us whether or not your ankles are tight, because once you raise up your heel and do the squat, if all of a sudden you're able to stay totally upright through the motion, it means that basically your heel's raised, so you don't have to bend your ankle as much, right? With the heel elevated. And so now you know, okay, my hips allow me to go low and maintain an upright posture, so it's my ankles that need to be fixed. So do this test to kind of narrow down what you need. So once you decide, you have two options. You can address the ankles by foam rolling and stretching your calves, or it'll be the hips. We'll do the hips second. So here's the ankles. Now, you're gonna focus on, I would say, your lower leg, but what you can really do is split your calf up into 3 sections. So it could be lower, middle, upper, but again, I think the lower leg's probably where you're gonna notice it the most. So you start here, rolling nice and slow, and if you need more pressure, either get a harder roller or just stack your leg like this. Now 1 to 2 minutes on each leg. Once you find a spot, you can stop, you can do some dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, rotation. It's hard for me to think right now because this actually hurts. Once I'm done, I'm gonna switch positions. And you can also just pause on a spot and slowly roll it out, even kind of roll side to side. So whatever feels good to you, just make sure you're getting it done consistently, and you're just breathing through it. Should be just nice and smooth, allowing it to release. Now from there, we're gonna go up to a calf stretch. Hands on the wall, leg is back. So if I'm getting my left leg, I'm gonna keep my knee straight and push down to get my upper calf. After about 10-15 seconds, I would drop the knee toward the ground for about 30 seconds to a minute. That's again because we probably want to address the lower leg a little bit more than the upper leg. So same thing on the other side, straight leg, about 15 seconds. And then you're gonna drop the knee toward the ground, 30 seconds to a minute. So that is gonna help with the lower leg mobility, which is gonna be very important. Let's go to the hips. Back on the foam roller. Now, you can drive your hip into the roller, but what I like to do is actually push it to the side and just allow myself to get up toward my hip flexor and the very top of my quad. Now, you're not gonna be able to, I wouldn't recommend rolling over your joint. I guess technically you could, but don't do it. Just get at the very top of your quad, right before you get to your waist and your hip joint. Just nice and loose. Holy smokes, I didn't know I was honestly as tight as I am now. So 1 to 2 minutes on each side. And once you're done getting it on both sides, we're gonna go to a half kneeling hip stretch. So from here, you're in a half kneeling position. The goal is to drive your hip forward and feel it in the front of your hip. Make sure you're not excessively arching back. Driving the hips forward, squeezing your butt. And after you hold it for 30 seconds to a minute, we're gonna go on to our actual activation exercise. You can use this for the calves or for the actual hip compensation because it's gonna address both. You're gonna do an assisted squat. Now, what I recommend, it's probably gonna be most likely, is that you have something to hold on to while you squat, because you're just gonna wanna focus on staying upright the entire time. So you're gonna hold on to a bar, a couch, anything you have handy. From here, you're gonna drop your butt down, keeping perfect posture as low as you can. Some of you are gonna start to feel the stretch in your calves. That's where you could stop. You can feel the stretch in your hips. What this allows you to do is maintain perfect posture, go as low as you can after you created that mobility, and then strengthen it by pressing back up. Repeat for your reps. And that's gonna make a huge difference. But like I said earlier, just know what you need to focus on, do the ankle mobility test and find out, is it the hips, is it your lower leg?